So what was your genuine reaction when you found out that Bobby was being killed off?
Silence at first. I received a phone call and I had no words. And to the point where Tim Minear, our showrunner who was placing the call, said, "Are you still there?" I said, "Yeah, I just don't know what to say."
Was he doing one-on-ones or like was it a group thing?
No, he called us individually, which I think is the respect that obviously the moment deserves, and said, I've made this choice and I want to let you know ahead of time. And so, yeah, shock and obviously sadness more than anything.
How's the 118 going to move on from this loss?
With great difficulty, to say the least. I don't quite know what it's going to look like. Obviously, they're going to need a new captain. I don't know if that will be internal or external. And I think either way that you do that leads to a period of readjustment and figuring out new dynamics. So it's going to be certainly an uncertain time as we move into season 9.
What does the finale have in store for your character?
He comes back.
It's very dirty and dusty. We're in the middle of this huge emergency that one of my favorite things that the show does is when it separates us off into different parts of an emergency and everybody's trapped in their own different ways.
Yeah.
Particularly in this episode because the 118 itself is quite fractured with the loss of Bobby. So as we are physically trying to find each other again, I think that's somewhat of a metaphor for the 118 trying to also come back together.
Buck and Eddie are roommates. What kind of roommates are they going to be? Is this like going to be the odd couple? Who's Felix? Who's Oscar?
Well, we've seen that they kind of had some arguments already. Who's going to get the groceries and who's not. So I think they'll have to figure it out. I like to think of Buck as quite a messy character. Even though we've never really seen that in the show, that's my personal theory for him. And Eddie, with his ex-military background, probably the opposite. So I could see some clashes, some personality issues coming up there.
And what are your hopes for Buck's love life for next season?
I would love him to be in just a settled place. We've seen him this year start with Tommy, break up with Tommy, end up back with him for another night, but maybe with some misplaced feelings or motivations. So whatever it is that comes, I hope it's from a more settled and well-considered place.